Hey guys, it's Coach Kate Engard with Engard Athletics. I just wanted to take a minute and show you how we track data at Engard Athletics and how we use that to inform our training and load and unload strategies with our athletes. So every day, each athlete comes in, or client, we have a form like this for our clients, and they have a form that's relevant to the metrics that we need for their sport. And we just use Google Forms because obviously, number one, it's free. And it's actually very convenient because we just have the athlete or the client save the link to their home screen, so it becomes almost like an app where they just click the icon on the home screen, they open it up, and they just quickly fill it out. So they'll select their name, and here's a quick tip is to actually list all of your clients' names. Don't let them type them in, because if you're trying to filter your data, if there's any inconsistencies in the way that they type their name, you'll miss out on those data points. So I actually list each player's name, and then they'll weigh themselves in for football, especially with our kids who are gaining weight. We want to weigh in every day and track that progress. Sleep, nutrition, fatigue, motivation, life stress, and a 4-jump power score that we use the Just Jump mat to assess. And then after the session, so they'll answer all of those before, and they will just leave the form open on their phone. And then after the session, they'll rate the total session RPE, which, as many of you know, has been shown in the literature to be fairly accurate. And what I've found is that most clients are athletes, because this is a benefit to them. They tend to answer honestly. So it's not like someone's going to try and skew the data, because they know that this is informing their training, and they want to honestly answer so that we can make the best decisions for them possible. So I find that people are fairly honest about this. Okay, and so what that does is after they hit submit on the form, it pushes the data to my spreadsheet. And then in here, I have all player data. I have it specifically selected and filtered out for one player today. And then from there, I've got a couple formulas that I use so that we can print reports, and we can analyze reports based on specific date ranges. Okay, so this has been the last month that this kid has been with me. And then, so what I do is I've decided on what we assume is would be a good day. And so average sleep, 8 out of 10 hours. So they get a 10 on that scale that I showed you over here. So this literally, you just tell me how many hours did you sleep. So we've said, okay, it's recommended in the literature that you should get 8 hours of sleep at least. So that becomes our new normal. So you can see here, we just take this, the self-reported divided by 8, and that's how we say, okay, well, certain days, so he's over certain days, he must be sleeping more than 8 hours a day to get 101%. And then everything else we've done, we've taken about 80% as a good operating day. So everything is about 80% is the new 100%, if that makes sense. So average nutrition, if you're about 80% on track, we're golden. Because I've found that it's almost impossible for an athlete, due to life variables, work, whether you're a client and you're working, you got kids, and you got to take them all around. I've found that it's almost impossible to be perfect, but if we're about 80%, we're doing really well. So everything is standardized to approximately 80%. And then your stress level, with the exception of the stress level, I said that a healthy amount of stress should probably be around 3. This is just arbitrary, and this is what we're using for now, and we can go back maybe once I get sufficient amount of data points from all of my clients and adjust that. What's kind of funny is that we're finding that the adults reported stress level compared to like a college student's reported stress level is significantly different, obviously, because adults are dealing with work stresses, financial stresses, kid stresses. So I might consider adjusting a normal adult level of stress slightly higher than 3. But for right now, I've got everybody at a 3 as a healthy normal or amount of stress. Okay, and so then what I do is I take all of those and I say, okay, how far off on all of these from our 80% normal are we? And then I take that and I say, okay, average RPE times our weighted error, what I'm calling our composite error. So how far off on your goal metrics were you? So he's about 0.67% off, and so I'll take that RPE times 0.67 plus and add back the RPE and give you the total added load. Okay, so, and then what I do is I push all of this, to a report sheet, and it shows me, me and the athlete, the factors that I want to track and look at. And so again, I said we could filter this out for a week, or you can filter the data for a month or all time. So however you want to look at this and run the report, this is what we're doing. This is a big one. Right here is the average power, peak power, and low power. So I watched this average operating efficiency, because if we start to get within or greater than a 10% decrement, that's one of the factors that I'm going to watch and say, okay, well, something is going on, whether it's he's rating the training as completely exhaustive, really hard, he's not finishing the workout, those types of things. Maybe it's on my end that the training is too stressful, and that's why our power is dropping off. Or perhaps we can look at here and say, okay, well, is it your stress? Is it your sleep? Is it your nutrition? I'd start identifying factors that are contributing to fatigue and then nip those in the bud before they get out of hand. So, and then it's also good, I think, in my opinion, for the athlete to understand that their life factors are contributing to the perceived workload during the session. So, some of these, sometimes you'll see, higher, like 11% higher or more difficult. You'll perceive your workout to be 11% more difficult. Now this kid is doing pretty good. He's on top of his nutrition. He's getting his full sleep. He's very low stress. So I think, just his nutrition was just slightly under where we expected it to be, but just not by much. So he's really, 3.5% more difficult is very, very low, at least for me, based on the data that I've collected with my athletes and clients so far. So just to give you an idea, these are the metrics we track. Also, again, weight here is up here. So this kid is doing really good with so we've gained weight without losing power, and then we take him to the field and make sure that we're not losing speed as well. And a lot of that is testament to the way that we train and some of the unique things that we do in the weight room, the way we couple exercises to make sure we're doing ballistic exercises with our strength, particularly in a mass gaining phase, because we want to make sure, at least with this kid in football, that gaining that weight back after a very long and strenuous season, that we don't lose speed at the sacrifice of the weight gain. Okay, so just a quick review on what we do. These are the metrics that we track and the reports that we push monthly during unload week. Every month we'll look back, and then periodically we'll do maybe like a quarterly report to look back on the last quarter and see what we're doing overall. So this is how we inform our training. This is how we work and collaborate with the client and the athlete to make sure they understand that it's not just the training, but it's outside variables, sleep, nutrition, stress, and those factors that they are in charge of managing and how those affect their workout. So it's really important that you're able to share that information with, and again, this is all self-reported, so it's not anything that I'm telling them. They are self-reporting their sleep, nutrition, and stress levels. So those are things that you can try then to help them manage and find out, like if it's nutrition and there's a misunderstanding about something, you can have that conversation. If it's work stress, maybe you talk to them about, okay, well, where is the stress? Is it something we can control? Can we not control it? If we can control it, is a time management thing? What's happening there? So this is very informative information for us, and this is what we do at ENG Athletics. If you want to train with us or find out more, visit enguardathletics.com. Thanks.